Science, in sleeping the Nebula Nights secrets of starborn dreams. Welcome back to Science in Sleeping, where the vastness of the universe becomes a lullaby, and science itself becomes the rhythm that rocks you gently toward rest tonight. We're drifting far beyond the boundaries of our familiar skies into the soft, glowing mysteries of the Nebula Nights, the ancient clouds of stardust where new worlds are quietly born. As you lie back, feel your body begin to unwind, your shoulders soften, your breathing slows, and the day begins to melt away like mist under morning light. You've made it through everything that needed doing today, and now this time, this quiet space belongs entirely to you tonight. I hope this journey helps you drift off gently, or at least helps your thoughts slow into a calmer rhythm. You don't need to focus, and you don't need to remember any of this. Just let the sound of my voice carry you softly through space and silence. I'd love to know where you're listening from, and what time it is where you are. Maybe it's the middle of the night. Maybe the first quiet moment after a long day. Wherever you are, you're part of a growing community of dreamers who fall asleep to the music of knowledge and wonder. Now, settle in, get comfortable, maybe adjust your pillow, or take one last deep breath. Feel the air move slowly in and gently out. The light around you grows dimmer, softer, until it feels like you're floating, suspended between waking and dreaming. Above you, the universe stretches wide and deep, a velvet ocean of starlight and stillness. Somewhere within that infinity, the nebulae swirl immense, glowing clouds of gas and dust, the birthplaces of stars, the cradles of cosmic creation. If you could see them with your own eyes, you'd find them more like paintings than places, rivers of color stretching for light, gentle blues and pinks drifting into gold and violet. Every wisp of light a reminder that life itself began in clouds like these. As the earth turns beneath you, imagine rising higher past the layers of our sky, past the thin blue edge of atmosphere, until gravity begins to loosen its hold, and you drift into silence. The stars no longer flicker. They burn steady and pure, and among them the nebulae shimmer like dreams made visible. Somewhere in that great expanse lies the Orion Nebula, a nursery of newborn stars glowing in the hunter's belt. Its light has traveled over 1,000 years just to meet your eyes. In that light is a story of collapse and creation, of dust gathering, compressing, and igniting into the heartbeat of a new sun. But for now, you don't need to chase that story. Just float here for a while, surrounded by stillness. Let your thoughts drift like the particles within a nebula, scattered, then softly drawn together again by gravity, finding a rhythm, a quiet order. The air around you feels cooler now, and the silence deeper. Only the hum of distant stars remains. The mind begins to grow light. Like cosmic dust suspended in space, the body feels weightless, free from everything that happened today. Every breath takes you further from the noise, and closer to the glow of those endless clouds of creation. Now, let's begin our journey, slowly, through the Nebula Nights, where light is born, where silence hums with energy, and where every dream begins, not on Earth, but among the stars. Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the glowing edges of a nebula, beyond the swirling clouds of gas and light, in the silent gulf that connects one cradle of creation to the next? If the nebulae are the nurseries of stars, then what lies in the space between them might be thought of as the night between dreams, vast, still, and brimming with hidden possibilities. Astronomers call this place the interstellar medium, but to the imagination, it feels more like the ocean of the cosmos itself, unseen and unknowable, yet holding the threads that bind every star together. Picture yourself drifting now, slowly leaving behind the warm luminescence of the Orion Nebula. The colors fade until only faint traces of violet and gold cling to the edges of your sight. Soon, even those dissolve into deep, endless darkness. The silence here is almost alive, a pressure you can feel against your skin. There's no up or down, no near or far, just the feeling of floating through eternity. Around you, the void stretches endlessly. But even in this emptiness, there are secrets waiting to be discovered. This is the space between stars, the realm where the remnants of countless nebulae have scattered their dust. It might look empty, but it is far from lifeless. Here, hydrogen atoms drift through the dark like forgotten whispers, scattered so thinly that a single cubic meter of space might contain only a handful. Yet, across the vastness of galaxies, even a whisper becomes a symphony, and these lonely atoms join together to shape the story of the cosmos. Scientists once believed that space was a perfect vacuum, a place of nothingness. But as our instruments grew sharper, we learned that the universe is never truly still. The interstellar medium is full of soft radiation, magnetic fields, and wandering particles that move like invisible tides. Sometimes a passing shockwave, perhaps from a dying star or a supernova explosion, will ripple through this silent sea, compressing the scattered gases together and beginning once more the slow process of creation. Did you know that without these invisible tides, stars would never be born? The matter drifting between them is like the dust of dreams, waiting for a spark of gravity to awaken it. Each supernova, each cosmic death, sends shockwaves outward, stirring the gases and dust into new motion. This is how one generation of stars gives birth to the next, how endings turn quietly into beginnings. Imagine a dying star, one far older than our sun, collapsing under its own weight. Its outer layers tear away in a blinding wave of light, scattering elements forged in its fiery heart across the void. For a brief moment, that star shines brighter than a whole galaxy, then fades, leaving behind a nebula rich with carbon, oxygen, and iron, the building blocks of life. Out of that death, a new world may one day be born. Perhaps, somewhere, an ocean will form, a creature will take its first breath, a consciousness will look up and wonder, just as you are doing now. Astronomers have mapped these ancient pathways of dust and light. They've discovered dark nebulae clouds so thick they hide the stars completely. From Earth, they appear as black patches in the Milky Way, like holes torn through the fabric of the sky. But within their shadows, gravity is quietly at work, gathering matter, preparing the birth of stars we cannot yet see. It's as if the universe hides its miracles inside its mysteries, revealing them only when the time is right. And then there are the reflection nebulae, which do not shine on their own but borrow light from nearby stars. Their glow is soft, ethereal, like moonlight reflected on water. These clouds remind us that not all brilliance comes from within. Some comes from being close enough to light to catch its echo. If you could float there, you might see the starlight ripple across your hands, scattering like silver dust, a reminder that even in darkness, beauty finds a way to shine. There's something haunting about knowing that every star we see tonight has been shaped by forces, both violent and tender, destruction and creation intertwined. When a supernova's blast travels through space, it doesn't simply fade. It becomes a sculptor, carving the next generation of nebulae, stirring new stars into being. The universe, it seems, is a patient artist, painting with chaos. Each stroke takes millions of years, but the masterpiece never ends. Now imagine yourself passing through one of these regions, a place where the aftershocks of a supernova still echo. You feel it not as sound, but as vibration, slow and deep, resonating through your very bones. Around you, particles collide, spin, and weave together. You drift past ghostly tendrils of ionized gas. Glowing faintly blue, the temperature swings wildly, from near absolute zero to thousands of degrees in a breath. But you are untouched, a silent witness moving through the pulse of creation. Did you know that in some regions of space, magnetic fields twist and coil around these gases, creating what astronomers call filaments? These filaments stretch for light, shaping how matter flows and where new stars will form. They are the hidden architecture of the cosmos, invisible to the eye but fundamental to its design. If you could trace them, you'd see a cosmic web, interconnected network that spans the galaxy, connecting every nebula, every star, every planet. And here lies the most breathtaking secret. The same pattern exists within you. Your brain's neural network, the way your thoughts travel and connect, mirrors the structure of the universe. Billions of neurons, branching, glowing, pulsing with electrical energy, just like the stars. It's as if the cosmos wrote its pattern into your very being, so that even in your dreams, you echo the dance of galaxies. The deeper you drift into the cosmic sea, the more you realize that stillness and motion coexist, that silence hums with energy. The blackness around you is not absence, but potential, a waiting canvas. Perhaps that is what sleep truly is, a personal nebula, a space where the mind drifts through darkness, gathering fragments of thought until suddenly a spark of awareness ignites again. Let your mind wander now through that quiet expanse. Think of how even the coldest space shelters warmth, how even destruction births new light. There is a comfort in knowing that the universe doesn't rush. It creates slowly, gently, giving each particle its time to fall into place. Maybe that's the lesson of the stars, that creation takes patience, and beauty takes time. And as you drift further, a faint glow appears ahead, distant, delicate. Like the first glimmer of dawn after endless night, it grows brighter with each breath, spreading soft hues of gold and rose across the horizon of infinity. The darkness recedes, and you realize you're approaching another nebula. This one even larger, even older. Its light pulsing like a heartbeat across the stars. It's calling you forward, whispering secrets of what came before and what will come after. For now, let the pull of that light guide you, like gravity drawing dust into form. We will drift there together into the heart of that next nebula, to uncover what it remembers of time, of creation, and of the quiet story written in every ray of starlight. The night continues, and so does the dream. Have you ever wondered what a star feels in the moment it awakens? That instant when darkness turns to fire, when the soft stillness of cosmic dust is pierced by a heartbeat of light for the very first time. It is the moment when the universe, which has waited patiently for millions of years, takes a breath. A single star flickers to life inside the dense folds of a nebula, and in that spark, a new era begins. Picture yourself drifting toward that light now. The dark cosmic sea stretches endlessly behind you, but ahead, like the flicker of a candle in infinite night, the air around it, if you could call it air, is thick with radiant dust, glittering like powdered gems suspended in the dark. The closer you float, the more alive everything feels, as though the space itself hums with anticipation. This is a stellar nursery, the very heart of creation, and you are about to witness one of the most powerful transformations in the universe. In the beginning, there is only a cold cloud of gas, silent and sprawling across the emptiness. Hydrogen atoms drift, collide, and cling, their faint gravity drawing more and more matter toward them. Slowly, over thousands and then millions of years, the cloud begins to contract. As it tightens, pressure builds. And with pressure comes heat. The core of the collapsing cloud glows faintly, first invisible, then red, then white-hot. The energy trapped within finally escapes as light, and a new star is born. This process, called stellar fusion, is the same force that powers every sunrise. Every second, deep within the core of a star, hydrogen atoms fuse together to form helium. In that fusion, a tiny fraction of mass is converted into pure energy, the energy that warms worlds, that illuminates nebulae, that travels across light years just to reach your eyes tonight. Did you know that a single teaspoon of a star's core would weigh millions of tons? The pressure is so immense that matter behaves in ways we can scarcely imagine. It's not solid, liquid, or gas. It's plasma, a sea of charged particles, swirling like fire made tangible. As you float closer, the light intensifies. Yet it's soft, not burning, but enveloping. You see waves of glowing gas radiating outward, forming loops and filaments that twist and curl like living tendrils. These are solar winds, streams of particles traveling at unimaginable speeds, carving shapes into the surrounding nebula. The newborn star exhales, and with each breath, it pushes back the darkness, sculpting, illuminating, creating space for new worlds to form. There's something profoundly moving about this, how silence gives way to sound, how stillness becomes motion. The universe is not static. It's alive with rhythm, like a heartbeat echoing across eternity. You might think of a star as a single point of light, but in truth, it's a story, a cycle of birth, growth, and eventual return to the cosmic dust that birthed it. Some of the gas and dust left over from the star's birth begins to swirl around it, forming a vast disk. Within that disk, small clumps begin to collide and merge, the first seeds of planets. This is how solar systems begin, through endless collisions and gentle gravity. Did you know that in our own solar system, every planet, even the smallest rock and grain of dust, was once part of such a swirling nebula? Everything from the icy moons of Jupiter to the sands beneath your feet was once star-born dust, drawn together by time and patience. Imagine drifting through that forming disk now. Streams of glowing particles flow past you like rivers of light, faint spirals tightening with each rotation. In the center of one swirl, something dense and dark is forming a planet, still too young to shine. Its surface is molten, its shape undefined, but already it's beginning to gather an atmosphere. You can almost feel the heat radiating off it, a reminder that creation is not always gentle. Sometimes it is wild and violent, a dance of chaos and beauty intertwined every few moments. Flashes of light burst across the nebula, massive jets of energy ejected from the star's poles. They stretch for light years, glowing blue-white against the surrounding darkness. These are called Herbicaro objects, and they are among the most beautiful and mysterious structures in the cosmos. Each one marks the place where matter collides, where shock waves ripple outward, reshaping the environment. It's as if the star itself is singing, its voice carried on beams of light that ripple through the void. And yet, amid all this power, there is an incredible balance, too much energy, and the star will tear its surroundings apart. Too little, and it will collapse back into darkness. Only when the forces of gravity and radiation find harmony does the star settle into stability, a gentle equilibrium that can last for billions of years. This phase, called the main sequence, is where stars, like our sun, spend most of their lives, burning quietly, steadily, transforming hydrogen into helium, and shining across the vastness of time. If you could pause here, suspended in the golden glow of this newborn sun, you might sense something both eternal and fleeting. The light you see now will one day fade. The star will change, swell, and eventually shed its outer layers back into space, becoming part of another nebula, another generation of stars. Nothing in the universe truly ends. It merely transforms. In a way, the birth of a star mirrors the rhythm of human life. We to begin in darkness, gathering energy, shaping identity, growing brighter until we find our own balance. And like stars, we leave traces behind: the warmth we give, the light we share, the memories that ripple outward even after we're gone. There's an old saying in astronomy: we are the way for the cosmos to know itself. When you look up at the night sky, you are not an observer, you are a participant, a continuation of that same story. The universe looks back at itself through your eyes, its ancient light meeting your brief spark of consciousness. For a moment, you and the stars share the same pulse, the same quiet wonder. Now, as you drift further from this glowing nursery, you notice the light begin to soften. The fiery brilliance fades into muted gold, then into soft silver. The newborn star continues to shine behind you, but ahead lies a deeper mystery, a place where light begins to twist and bend, where the rules of time itself start to blur. It's a region where gravity grows so strong that even starlight cannot escape, a place both feared and revered. The nebula hums in the distance as you turn toward this unseen horizon, drawn by curiosity and the pull of the unknown. Beyond the cradle of stars lies the shadow of the cosmos, the realm of collapsed suns, of space itself bending under the weight of its own gravity. The next part of our journey will take us there, into the silent heart of darkness, where light itself learns to sleep. Have you ever wondered what happens when a star dies? When the light that once illuminated worlds begins to fade? When the glow that traveled across the ages dims into shadow? Does the universe mourn its fallen suns? Or does it simply wait, patiently, silently, for them to be reborn? In the cosmic cycle of creation, death is not an ending, but a transformation. And nowhere is this more breathtaking, more mysterious, than in the silent birth of a black hole. Picture yourself floating once more in the velvet expanse of space. The last traces of the nebula's colors fade behind you, their pinks and blues swallowed by darkness. Ahead, the void deepens. Yet, it doesn't feel empty. It feels heavy, alive, as if the space itself is breathing. The light from distant stars stretches and bends, their shapes warping in strange, beautiful patterns. It's like looking through rippling water, except the waves you see here are made of gravity itself. You drift closer, and the temperature drops. Not because it's cold, but because heat here has nowhere to escape. It's as if time itself has slowed, thickened, wrapping you in stillness. Somewhere in the distance, a dying star collapses, its final light flaring before it disappears into nothing. In that instant, something extraordinary happens. Matter falls inward, faster than it can escape, compressing beyond imagination, until it forms a point so dense that even light cannot flee. This is a black hole, the most mysterious object in existence. A place where the known laws of physics break down, where gravity becomes infinite and space-time folds in upon itself. Yet, despite its terrifying reputation, there is something profoundly serene about it. Black holes are not monsters devouring the universe. They are portals of transformation, silent engines that shape galaxies. At their heart lies the singularity, a point of unimaginable density where everything matter, energy, even time, collapses to near zero volume. Surrounding this point is the event horizon, the boundary beyond which nothing can return. To cross it is to vanish from the visible universe, to fall endlessly inward. Some physicists describe this not as destruction, but as a continuation, a journey into a region of reality our senses cannot perceive. Did you know that every large galaxy, including our own Milky Way, has a supermassive black hole at its center? The one in our galaxy is called Sagittarius A, a quiet giant more than 4 million times the mass of the Sun. For decades it hid in the dark, invisible to telescopes, until astronomers finally captured its shadow using a network of observatories across the Earth. The image they revealed, a glowing ring of light encircling an endless void, was humanity's first glimpse of the unseen. As you drift closer to the edge of this cosmic abyss, you notice something strange. Time itself begins to warp. To an outside observer, your movement would appear to slow until it almost stops. But from your perspective, everything ahead of you continues as normal. It's as though time has split in two, one part racing forward, another lingering in eternal stillness. Einstein predicted this in his theory of relativity. Gravity doesn't just pull on space. It pulls on time itself. You move carefully now, drawn toward the edge of the event horizon. The light from the stars behind you bends and curves around the black hole, forming a glowing halo, a gravitational lens that distorts the cosmos like a dream seen through rippling glass. It's mesmerizing, hypnotic. The line between what is real and what is reflection begins to blur. There's a strange peace here, a kind of sacred quiet. You feel no fear, only curiosity. The pull is gentle but absolute, an invitation to witness the ultimate mystery. You think of the stars that have fallen before you, their light swallowed, their matter condensed, their energy transformed. Perhaps they are not lost, merely changed, scattered into new dimensions beyond perception. And then a thought surfaces. Could black holes be the wombs of new universes? Some physicists have suggested that every black hole may contain a universe of its own, birthed from the collapse of another. In that view, creation and destruction are one continuous process, a heartbeat that pulses through infinity, each universe giving rise to the next, endlessly, beautifully, quietly. Imagine if that were true, that somewhere beyond the horizon, another cosmos is unfolding, galaxies spiraling into being, stars igniting, worlds awakening, perhaps even another version of you, gazing upward, wondering the same thing. The idea is almost too vast to grasp, yet there's comfort in it, the knowledge that nothing is ever truly gone, only changed. You drift closer, still, and strange colors shimmer around you, blues deepening into violet, reds stretching into gold. This is the accretion disk, a swirling ring of superheated gas and dust spiraling toward oblivion, moving so fast it glows brighter than any star. Each particle within it is on its final journey, falling inward, yet in its fall, it creates light. It's a paradox of beauty. The closer to darkness you go, the brighter the world becomes. Did you know that some black holes spin so rapidly they drag space itself around with them? This phenomenon, called frame dragging, means that near the event horizon, reality twists. The fabric of existence swirls like water in a whirlpool, and time itself becomes a spiral. It's dizzying, mesmerizing, and profoundly humbling. And then there are the jets, streams of matter and energy shooting outward from the poles of certain black holes, traveling at nearly the speed of light. These jets extend for thousands of light years, illuminating the darkness like cosmic beacons. No one fully understands how they form, but they remind us that even at the edge of destruction, creation finds a way. You watch one such jet now, glowing electric blue against the black backdrop. It hums faintly, like a cosmic heartbeat, pulsing in rhythm with unseen forces. The sound is low, soothing, almost musical. You realize that the universe is not silent at all. It sings. It has always sung, and you have always been part of its melody. As you float there, suspended between light and shadow, you begin to sense that this place, this edge of eternity, is not about endings. It's about balance. The black hole consumes, yes, but it also connects, recycling energy, sculpting galaxies, weaving order from chaos. In its darkness, there is design. Somewhere far behind you, stars are being born in nebulae, their light destined to travel for billions of years. Some of that light will fall here, spiral inward, and vanish into the event horizon, only to emerge, perhaps, as the seed of another universe. The cycle continues, endlessly, quietly, peacefully. You take one last look at the glowing ring before you, the last light before infinity. It ripples like a living eye, Reflecting the starlight of all creation, you feel the pull again, not just of gravity, but of understanding. The realization that the same force holding galaxies together holds you. The same gravity that binds stars to their orbits binds thoughts in your mind, connects your heartbeats to the rhythm of cosmic time, and slowly you drift away from the black hole's edge, back toward the soft field of stars, carrying with you the feeling that even in the darkest places, the universe whispers of rebirth, of balance, of endless transformation. The light fades behind you, but ahead, you see the faint shimmer of something vast, a structure so immense it stretches across space like a web of light. We'll follow that glow next, into the grand design of the universe itself, the cosmic web that connects galaxies like neurons in the mind of creation, a lattice of light, mystery, and unending wonder. Have you ever wondered what holds the universe together? What invisible threads bind galaxies across the unimaginable distances of space, keeping stars, planets, and even time itself woven into one great cosmic fabric? You might imagine empty darkness stretching endlessly between galaxies, but the truth is far more astonishing. Between those distant islands of light lies an intricate web, three-dimensional structure spanning the cosmos, unseen yet profoundly real, known as the cosmic web. Picture yourself drifting through a vast, dim ocean of starlight. The blackness around you is not truly empty, it shimmers faintly, like mist illuminated from within. Slowly, your eyes adjust, and delicate filaments of pale blue and silver begin to emerge. Stretching out in every direction, they curve and intersect, forming patterns that resemble the neurons of a colossal mind. Each glowing strand is made of galaxies, billions of them connected by invisible rivers of dark matter and gas, flowing like veins through the body of the universe. As you float closer, you realize you are witnessing something alive in its own way. The web pulses faintly with energy, breathing in cosmic rhythm. Each node, each bright cluster, is a galactic metropolis, where hundreds of billions of suns revolve around invisible centers. The filaments connecting them are like highways through which matter and energy travel. Slowly, steadily, over eons, the distances are beyond comprehension. Yet everything here is connected. Nothing stands alone. Scientists discovered hints of this structure only a few decades ago, using the faint glow of distant galaxies as a cosmic map. What they found changed everything. Instead of a random scattering of stars, the universe revealed itself as a masterpiece of design, with filaments, clusters, and vast empty voids, enormous regions where almost nothing exists. These voids are the silent spaces between the threads, like the pauses between heartbeats. Without them, the web could not exist, for balance requires both fullness and emptiness. Imagine yourself drifting along one of these luminous filaments, passing through clusters of stars so dense they form rivers of light. You see new galaxies forming where these filaments meet, places of gravity's greatest embrace, called nodes. The forces here are immense. Clouds of hydrogen and dark matter intertwine, slowly collapsing under their own weight, sparking the birth of new stars. Each star ignites like a thought in a cosmic mind, a flicker of awareness spreading through the darkness. Did you know that the structure of the cosmic web mirrors the structure of the human brain. Scientists comparing the distribution of galaxies to neural connections have found striking similarities. Both networks are vast. Both display patterns of connectivity that follow the same mathematical principles. It's as if the universe itself thinks in the same way consciousness does, on a scale far beyond our understanding. The galaxies are neurons, the dark matter filaments are synapses, and somewhere within it all, perhaps, lies the spark of awareness that keeps existence alive. You drift through a region where galaxies form elegant chains, stretching for hundreds of millions of light years. Some spiral gracefully, their arms glimmering with starlight. Others are elliptical, glowing faintly red with the light of ancient suns. Each galaxy spins like a slow-moving clock, marking the passage of cosmic time. Together they form rivers of light, flowing into one another, feeding into clusters so large they defy imagination. The gravitational pull here is subtle but persistent. Every atom, every star, every galaxy feels the tug of all the others. Drawn together by an unseen force, that force, gravity, is not merely a downward pull. It's the universe's way of remembering itself. Gravity connects everything to everything, weaving space and time into one seamless whole. Without it, there would be no stars, no planets, no us. As you continue drifting through the web, you begin to sense something strange, a faint vibration, a hum that seems to echo through the fabric of space. It's not sound as you know it, for sound cannot travel through vacuum. It's a pulse, the faint echo of the universe's birth, the aftershock of the Big Bang, still resonating across billions of years, filling space with a background glow of microwave radiation. Astronomers call it the cosmic microwave background, but you feel it now as something deeper, like a heartbeat echoing from the beginning of time. You pause for a moment, letting that ancient hum wash through you. It feels like standing beside the ocean and listening to the waves, knowing each crest and trough has traveled thousands of miles to reach your ears in this moment. You realize that everything from your own heartbeat to the motion of galaxies is part of one continuous rhythm, a universal pulse that never stops drifting farther. You approach the edge of one of the great cosmic voids, an enormous region where there are almost no galaxies, no light, just darkness. It stretches for hundreds of millions of light years, a silent gulf in the tapestry of creation. Yet even here, the silence is beautiful. The void is not empty, but resting, a place where gravity's hand is still, waiting for the next cycle of formation. You enter this darkness slowly, and it feels like descending into the deep ocean. The stars behind you fade, replaced by an endless, tranquil black. In this calm emptiness, time seems to slow. You begin to feel the weight of distance, the quietness of infinity, and for a moment, you realize how small everything else truly is. The galaxies, the clusters, even light itself, all are fleeting ripples in the stillness of eternity. And yet, there is a comfort in that realization. For even though we are tiny, we are part of something immeasurably vast. Each thought, each breath, each life adds its own ripple to the cosmic sea, influencing, in some infinitesimal way, the pattern of the whole. The web that connects galaxies also connects us. The atoms in your body were born in ancient stars, scattered through the same filaments you now drift through. You are not separate from the universe. You are its continuation, its consciousness, its story told in human form. The web begins to glow brighter again as you leave the void behind. The filaments ahead shimmer with renewed light, twisting into patterns that resemble ancient constellations. You recognize the shapes, the same constellations our ancestors once saw and named. Long before they knew what stars truly were, they saw these same patterns and wondered if gods or spirits dwelled among them. But now you understand, those patterns were reflections of the web itself, glimpses of the greater structure connecting everything. And as you float onward, you notice the web beginning to shift. Its filaments pulse with golden light, forming a spiral pattern that grows ever more complex. You realize this is not just the structure of galaxies, it's the structure of life itself. The same pattern found in seashells, hurricanes, even the DNA within your cells. The spiral, nature's favorite design, repeated from the smallest particle to the largest cluster. A universal signature of growth and connection. The realization fills you with quiet awe. Everything, everywhere, follows the same rhythm, the same hidden geometry. From the whorls of your fingertips, there is one song, one motion, one endless dance. You are a note within that symphony, a flicker within that eternal pattern. As you gaze once more into the cosmic web, its threads seem to shimmer in recognition. The galaxies twinkle like thoughts passing through a cosmic mind. You understand now, the universe is not a cold machine. It is alive, aware, evolving. It dreams in stars, breathes in galaxies, and remembers itself through you, slowly. You drift away from the glowing web, carrying with you the peace of understanding ahead. A faint glow rises on the horizon, a cluster of galaxies swirling around one another in a breathtaking cosmic ballet. Their movements form spirals of light and shadow, graceful and endless, inviting you closer. Let's follow their motion next, as we journey into the heart of galaxies themselves, where stars are born, worlds collide, and the story of creation continues, endlessly, beautifully, softly. Have you ever wondered what happens inside a galaxy, deep within those glittering spirals of starlight that fill the night sky? We see them as serene, swirling seas of light, scattered across the heavens like jewels, but within their depths lie storms of unimaginable power, ancient dances of birth and destruction, and mysteries that stretch far beyond human imagination. Each galaxy is a city of stars, yes, but it is also a living organism, pulsing with energy, memory, and motion. Picture yourself approaching one now, a spiral galaxy, turning slowly in the dark. Its arms twist outward like a vast whirlpool of blue and gold. The light from billions of stars glimmers like dust scattered across velvet. At its center burns a radiant glow, the galactic core, bright and fierce, a beacon calling you closer. You drift toward it, gliding along one of the spiral arms, watching as whole star systems move beneath you like rivers of fire. Each one contains worlds, some perhaps alive, others still waiting for their chance to awaken. The deeper you travel into the spiral arm, the more intricate it becomes. Clouds of gas and dust swirl like smoke, glowing faintly in the light of nearby suns. You pass through one, a stellar nursery, where stars are being born. Inside, everything glows, a soft, warm crimson, hydrogen atoms collide and fuse, releasing light and heat. The clouds shimmer with energy. Each spark that forms here may one day ignite, surrounded by planets, moons, and perhaps even life. Did you know that in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, there are over 100 billion stars, and perhaps as many planets? Some astronomers believe there are more planets than stars. Imagine that countless worlds orbiting in silence, unseen and unknown, drifting through the vast arms of the galaxy like tiny lanterns. And yet, every one of them belongs to the same grand rotation, the same cosmic rhythm. Each follows the galactic dance, a choreography billions of years in the making. As you move closer to the galactic core, the stars grow denser, brighter. The sky around you blazes with light. Stars pass within mere light years of one another, creating a constant shimmer of shifting constellations. Gravity here is stronger, faster, more alive. You can almost feel it humming through the air. The stars near the center orbit, a single, immense object, the galaxy's hidden heart, a supermassive black hole. You've seen one before, back in the silent depths of space. But this one feels different. It's not cold and distant. It's alive with motion. Matter swirls around it in a luminous disk, glowing with energy as it falls inward. The light here is so intense it bends around itself, forming a perfect halo. The entire galaxy revolves around this singularity, drawn into its invisible gravity. It's as though the black hole is both the destroyer and the anchor, keeping the galaxy in balance. Astronomers call this dynamic equilibrium the push and pull between chaos and order, between destruction and creation. It's what keeps galaxies stable for billions of years. If the black hole consumes too much, the galaxy collapses. If it consumes too little, the stars scatter into the void. But somehow, the universe maintains its balance, the forces align, and the galaxy continues its eternal rotation. You drift upward now, rising above the galactic plane. From this vantage point, you can see the spiral arms stretched wide, like wings unfurling in slow motion. Each arm is a path of motion and time, carrying stars through their life cycles. Some of those stars are newly born, hot and blue. Others are ancient and fading, red and quiet. Together, they form a gradient of cosmic age, a living timeline of creation. Did you know that galaxies collide and merge over time, like waves meeting in the sea? The Milky Way itself is on a collision course with our nearest neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. In about 4 billion years, they will meet. Their stars will not crash into each other. Space is too vast for that, but their gravity will entwine, pulling both into a new, larger form. The night sky will be filled with radiant arcs of light as the two galaxies spiral together, becoming one. Astronomers have already simulated this grand dance, and it is breathtaking, like two cosmic lovers slowly merging. Their union will give birth to a new galaxy. You imagine witnessing such an event. Two galaxies colliding, their stars scattering like sparks, nebulae colliding and igniting, black holes orbiting one another until they finally merge, releasing ripples through space-time itself. Those ripples, called gravitational waves, are real. Scientists on Earth have detected them, the faint echoes of massive cosmic collisions that happened billions of years ago. You realize now that the universe has a memory. Every motion, every impact, leaves an imprint in the fabric of existence. You drift again along one of the outer arms, watching the delicate interplay of light and gravity. It's quiet here, a vast peace settled over the stars. Some shine steadily, others flicker gently as they age. A red giant looms nearby, swollen and glowing. Nearing the end of its life, soon it will shed its outer layers, forming a nebula like the one you visited before. Its core will collapse into a white dwarf, small, dense, and glowing faintly for billions of years. Death and rebirth again, another cycle completed. There's something deeply comforting about that rhythm. Stars die, but their elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, are scattered into space. They become the seeds for new stars, new planets, new life. You realize that the atoms in your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones were forged inside stars that lived and died long before the Earth was born. You are literally made of stardust. The galaxy is not just your home, it is your origin, your ancestry, your reflection. As you drift further out, you pass through the galactic halo, a faint sphere surrounding the galaxy, filled with ancient dim stars. These are the oldest inhabitants of the Milky Way. Witnesses to its birth, they orbit slowly. Like memories circling the edges of time, you sense their quiet endurance, their patience, each one a storyteller, each one holding the echoes of a younger universe. Beyond the halo, darkness deepens again, the spiral arms fade, and you find yourself hovering at the galaxy's edge. From here, you can see its entire structure, the glowing arms, the brilliant core, the delicate web of light stretching into the distance. The galaxy spins slowly, gracefully, surrounded by millions of others, each with their own story, their own center, their own rhythm. And then, just beyond, faint but undeniable, you see something vast, a strange distortion in space, like the shimmer of heat on the horizon. The galaxies around it appear to bend and twist, light itself curving in impossible ways. This, you realize, is not another galaxy, but something even larger, a galactic cluster bound together by dark matter and gravity, a congregation of hundreds of galaxies moving as one, drawn toward something unseen. You feel the pull, faint but real, like the breath of infinity, calling you forward. There's a mystery waiting there, something deeper, something older. It feels like the next step in the universe's grand design. So now, take a deep breath. Let your thoughts drift like starlight through the vast arms of the galaxy. Feel the hum of creation, the slow turning of time, for beyond this point, we will journey into the heart of the cosmic clusters, where galaxies gather like constellations in motion, where dark matter weaves its silent threads, and where the hidden architecture of the universe begins to reveal its most secret design. Have you ever wondered what happens when galaxies come together? When the grand islands of light you've seen, each carrying billions of stars, collide and merge into something greater? What if the universe itself gathers in clusters, the way stars gather in galaxies, enormous congregations of light and matter, spinning slowly in the dark like vast celestial kingdoms? Tonight, we drift deeper, beyond the familiar spirals and glowing cores, into the realm of galactic clusters, the true architecture of the universe. Picture yourself gliding through the quiet expanse between galaxies. The darkness here is rich and endless, yet faint streams of light shimmer all around you, galaxies connected by invisible threads of gravity. They move not alone, but together, orbiting a shared center of mass, bound in an ancient cosmic dance. Ahead, you see it, a glowing cluster, so immense it fills your entire view. A city of galaxies, spinning and colliding, drifting through time like a slow, graceful storm. You enter the cluster, and the scale is staggering. Each glowing point around you is not a star, but an entire galaxy. Some spiral gracefully, others appear distorted, torn by tidal forces, stretching and twisting as they pass near one another. In the spaces between them, thin streams of stars stretch across the dark, forming stellar bridges, remnants of galactic collisions long past. It's a breathtaking sight, chaotic, yet strangely ordered. Destruction intertwined with creation. Did you know that clusters like this contain thousands of galaxies? The largest known ones, like the Coma cluster or the Perseus cluster, span millions of light-years across. Within them lies a mass so immense that visible matter accounts for only a fraction of it. The rest is something mysterious, invisible, yet essential, dark matter. Without it, the galaxies would scatter, unable to hold together, but with it, they move in perfect unison, like a flock of cosmic birds guided by a force they cannot see. You drift deeper into the cluster, and the temperature around you begins to rise, not in the way of warmth, but in the presence of energy. Between the galaxies stretches a thin, glowing fog of superheated gas, so hot that it emits X-rays. This is the intracluster medium, a vast sea of plasma, glowing faintly like liquid light. It's silent, but full of motion, as particles collide and drift, carrying the memory of ancient explosions. The remains of supernovas scattered across eternity. As you move through this mist, you begin to sense an unseen structure beneath it, a web of dark matter, invisible yet shaping everything around you. It bends light itself, warping your vision, causing distant galaxies to appear distorted. This strange phenomenon, called gravitational lensing, is one of the universe's great tricks. Light from galaxies behind the cluster bends as it passes through this dark matter, revealing its presence like a shadow seen only through distortion. Imagine watching a faraway galaxy stretched into an arc of light, like a reflection on rippling water. What you see is not a trick of your eyes, but gravity itself, sculpting light. The cluster becomes a vast, natural telescope, allowing astronomers on Earth to peer deeper into the past, farther than would otherwise be possible. Each curve of light, each shimmering arc, is a whisper from the early universe, a message traveling for billions of years to reach you now. You drift toward the center of the cluster, where gravity's pull grows stronger, and the light intensifies. Here lies a giant elliptical galaxy, far larger than any you've seen before. Its core burns with the light of trillions of stars, its edges merging with the faint halos of smaller galaxies drawn into its orbit. This is a cannibal galaxy, grown massive by consuming its neighbors over eons. Yet, despite its hunger, there is an elegance to it, a grace in the way it glows, like a monarch presiding over a court of light. And then you notice something strange. The space around you begins to shimmer, faintly vibrating, as though the fabric of reality itself is trembling. A pulse travels through the cluster, invisible yet powerful. The galaxies sway minutely, their light flickering in response. You realize what you're feeling are gravitational waves, ripples in space-time caused by the merging of two supermassive black holes somewhere within this cluster. The universe itself is quivering, singing a note too deep for human ears. These waves travel across billions of light years, carrying stories of cosmic collisions and unimaginable forces. They stretch and compress space as they move, passing through everything, even you. For a brief moment, you feel the rhythm of the cosmos coursing through you. Slow, deep, eternal. As you drift onward, the hum fades, replaced by a strange calm. You find yourself at the edge of an enormous void within the cluster, a place where light seems to vanish entirely. At first, you think it's just shadow, but then you realize it's something far more mysterious, a dark flow, a region where galaxies are moving in the same direction, as if drawn by something beyond the visible universe. Scientists have observed this motion and still do not know what causes it. It's as though the cluster itself is being pulled by a gravity greater than all it contains, toward something hidden, perhaps the edge of the universe, perhaps something beyond. You stare into that dark direction and feel a strange pull of curiosity. What lies beyond the known cosmos? Is there another universe pulling on ours? Another reality interwoven with this one? The questions stir like quiet waves in your mind, soft and endless. And then, a flash, a sudden burst of light across the cluster. A supernova, bright enough to outshine all the stars in its galaxy combined. It flares with impossible beauty, then slowly begins to fade, leaving behind a neutron star, a core so dense that a teaspoon of it would weigh 1 billion tons. The energy from this explosion ripples outward, adding its light to the intracluster glow. Even as the gas and dust it releases will someday form new stars, the pattern continues. Galaxies collide, stars are born and die, black holes merge, and through it all, the cluster holds its form. Suspended in a vast, invisible net of dark matter, the universe's great design persists. Did you know that our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is part of a small cluster called the local group? And beyond that, we too belong to an even larger structure, the Laniakea supercluster, an immense region spanning 500 million light-years, containing over 100,000 galaxies, all of it connected, all of it moving as one. The word Laniakea means immeasurable heaven, and as you drift now through this realm, you understand why. You look around at the galaxies spinning like fireflies, at the faint glow of plasma weaving between them, at the invisible dark matter binding everything in unity. And you realize the truth. The universe is not a collection of separate things. It is one continuous organism, breathing and expanding, dreaming itself into being. You begin to drift upward, slowly, leaving the cluster behind from this higher vantage point. You see it in its entirety, a luminous knot in the grand web of the cosmos, surrounded by other clusters, all connected like beads of light, stretching endlessly into the distance. The view takes your breath away, and just as the thought settles that perhaps you've seen the largest structures the universe has to offer, you notice something even greater beyond the horizon, a faint shimmer of motion, vast and ghostly, like waves rippling through the cosmic sea itself. The light bends, twists and pulses not from stars or galaxies, but from the very structure of space-time that will be our next destination. A journey into the cosmic waves, the ripples that echo through reality itself, the whispers left behind by the birth of the universe, the first sounds of creation, still traveling across eternity, waiting to be heard. So now, take a deep breath. Let the image of the galaxies linger in your mind, and allow yourself to float weightlessly toward that shimmering horizon, where time and space themselves begin to sing. Have you ever wondered what happens inside a nebula when it begins to pulse with the first signs of life? Not biological life, but the luminous awakening of a star. Imagine a region so immense that light takes centuries to cross it, yet inside that darkness, silent waves of radiation and gravity weave a secret rhythm, a pulse that feels almost alive. There, within the folds of ancient dust, matter gathers, twists, and whispers its destiny. Could it be that even stars are born out of longing, a cosmic yearning for warmth, for creation, for brilliance in the void? Tonight, we drift deeper into that sacred heartbeat, to a place where creation trembles just before it begins. Picture yourself standing at the edge of this radiant abyss. The nebula spreads before you like a slow-motion storm, frozen in time, glowing in soft shades of violet, crimson, and gold. The air, if you could call it that, vibrates with a quiet hum, like a sleeping giant breathing in its dreams. Filaments of dust coil, like silk ribbons, their ends dissolving into unseen distances. Every flicker, every spark, every shimmering tendril feels alive, as though the entire nebula is aware of your presence, greeting you gently. You are not intruding. You are being invited to witness the art of cosmic creation, the poetry of beginnings written in starlight and silence. The science of this beauty begins with gravity, that invisible sculptor of the universe. Gravity gathers gas and dust across millions of miles, coaxing hydrogen atoms closer and closer until they cannot resist their mutual pull. As clouds collapse inward, their centers grow hotter and denser, building pressure until nuclear fusion ignites. This ignition, this moment of fire from dust, is the birth of a star. But it's not instant. It's a long and delicate dance that can take millions of years. The nebula doesn't rush. It breathes patiently, shaping futures atom by atom. Inside these swirling regions, magnetic fields and shock waves twist the material into filaments and knots. Some knots collapse under their own weight, while others drift apart, never forming a star, just echoes of potential that never quite awaken. What's truly extraordinary is that within these stellar nurseries, elements essential for life, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, are forged and scattered. Every inhale you take is a whisper from some ancient nebula, each molecule a survivor of long-dead stars. The air around you, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all are born from the ashes of stellar fire. The universe, in its vast indifference, still manages to create the ingredients of tenderness, memory, and warmth. Did you know that when you look up at Orion's belt, the faint glow in its sword isn't a star at all, but a living nebula, a cradle of newborn suns? Within that distant haze, thousands of stars are emerging even as you breathe. And then there are the silent, darker regions, cold clouds where nothing yet shines. They are the waiting rooms of the cosmos, where hydrogen waits to ignite, where gravity hums softly to itself. In these regions, astronomers use radio telescopes to peer through the dust and detect the faint signatures of molecules, water vapor, methane, ammonia, the chemistry of possibility. It's humbling to realize that the same formulas that built stars also run quietly inside our cells. Hydrogen bonds, electron transfers, atomic attraction. These are the rhythms of existence on every scale. The nebula, in all its grandness, is not foreign to you. It's a mirror. It reflects your own origins, your own luminous becoming. Now imagine drifting closer through the glowing filaments. Each particle you pass has traveled for billions of years, from the core of one star to another, through the cold void carried on solar winds. As you glide, you begin to sense the enormity of time itself, that stars are not fixed, but part of a vast breathing pattern that transcends human lifetimes. Every nebula you see is temporary, destined to collapse into stars or scatter into darkness. Creation and dissolution, birth and disappearance, it's all one endless cycle, a cosmic heartbeat. And just like the rise and fall of your own chest, the universe, too, breathes quietly, rhythmically, eternally. But the story grows more mysterious still. Within some nebulae, astronomers have discovered structures shaped like eyes, hands, and even hearts, vast formations of dust sculpted by stellar winds. The Eye of God Nebula, as it's called, stares out from the depths of space like a divine gaze. Yet it's not divine intervention that creates it. It's simple physics. Radiation pressure, pushing dust away, sculpting the void into sacred forms. Perhaps the human mind, seeking meaning, finds symbols where the universe simply flows. Or perhaps, in some deeper way, the cosmos expresses itself through beauty, not by accident, but by design woven into the fabric of natural law. And as you watch, a single point within the nebula begins to brighten, faint at first, then growing, pulsing with soft gold light. A star is being born. You feel its warmth long before you see its brilliance. Around it, gas and dust swirl like petals caught in a slow, eternal wind. This is no explosion, no chaos. It's harmony. A quiet, graceful unfolding of energy and structure. The light touches your face, warm, gentle, familiar, and you realize that what you're witnessing is the same light that once formed your world, the same radiance that will someday fade into new dust. How peaceful it is to know that nothing is wasted in the universe, not even destruction. Every ending becomes a beginning, every collapse a foundation. You, too, are part of that endless cycle. Just as the stars are born from dust, so are dreams born from silence. You carry the nebula within you, its patience, its mystery, its beauty, its fire. Breathe in, slowly. Feel that starlight move through you, whispering that creation never ends, it only changes form. And now, as we drift away from this newborn star, let its glow linger behind your eyes. Let it follow you into rest. Ahead, deeper in the velvet dark, other shapes begin to emerge, ghostly pillars, spiraling veils, the next chapter of the cosmos waiting to unfold. The nebula hums its farewell, and you float onward, calm and curious, toward the next mystery, carried by the soft rhythm of the stars. Have you ever wondered what happens when the light from a star begins to fade? Not because it burns out, but because something vast and mysterious veils it from view. Imagine gazing into the cosmos and finding entire stars disappearing, their light dimming as if swallowed by an unseen hand. Astronomers call these regions dark nebulae, immense clouds of dust and gas, so dense that even the light of 1,000 suns cannot pierce them. They are the shadows of creation, the secret chambers where stars are born and die unseen. What lies hidden inside them? What stories unfold in that perfect darkness, where even light must surrender? Tonight, we venture into the veiled sanctuaries of the cosmos, where silence itself seems alive, where the universe keeps its most intimate secrets. Picture yourself drifting through a sea of starlight, watching constellations drift past like ancient ships on a dark ocean. One by one, the stars ahead begin to dim, their brilliance fading as a soft, gray mist rises before you. It thickens slowly, swirling like ink dropped into water. Soon the sky is gone, replaced by a dense, shifting fog that seems to pulse with hidden motion. You are inside a dark nebula now, a place so thick with interstellar dust that even starlight cannot reach your eyes. The silence here is total, deeper than you have ever known. It's not empty, it's expectant, as if the whole cosmos is holding its breath, waiting for something to begin. In these regions, matter gathers and hides, molecular hydrogen, silicates, ice, carbon compounds, all drifting together in quiet density. Temperatures fall close to absolute zero, where movement itself becomes a slow whisper. These clouds are the nurseries of new stars, yet they appear to us as patches of darkness, blotting out the bright canvas of space. You might have seen one before, the Horsehead Nebula, its shadowy form rising like a ghost against a field of crimson light. Two telescopes, these dark nebulae are revealed by what they conceal, the light they block, the outlines they carve into the glow of nearby stars. Inside them, gravity begins its delicate work. Over eons, invisible waves of force draw particles together. Each collision adds heat, and every gathering clump grows denser. But from outside, nothing changes. The darkness remains absolute, the silence undisturbed. Deep within, though, a secret fire is forming, slow, patient, inevitable. Imagine billions of particles dancing, joining, compressing, until somewhere inside that darkness, a spark ignites. For a moment, the blackness glows faintly, then swallows the light again. Creation has begun, but it will remain hidden for millions of years before it bursts into view. Astronomers have long been fascinated by these starless voids. Using radio telescopes and infrared detectors, they listen for the faint signatures of molecular movement, the hum of carbon monoxide, the soft whisper of ammonia, the pulse of hydrogen. These invisible vibrations tell the story that light cannot. And what a story it is! The formation of stars, not as sudden explosions, but as slow symphonies of gravity and temperature. In these depths, even sound moves differently. If you could hear it, it would not be like music, but like the deep, steady rhythm of breathing, the inhale and exhale of cosmic creation. Did you know that even planets may begin here? Within some dark nebulae, tiny grains of dust collide and stick together, forming the first fragile seeds of worlds. These grains may someday drift into the orbit of newborn stars, coalescing into planets, moons, and comets. In that way, the same darkness that hides creation also nurtures it. It's easy to forget that without shadow, light would never have contrast. Without the dark, there would be no dawn. Even the universe knows this truth. It builds life in the dark first, letting it rest and form before releasing it into the brilliance of the stars. There's a quiet suspense in realizing that every dark nebula is a paradox, a region of absolute absence that holds infinite potential. The very dust that blocks our sight is the same material that will someday shine as light. Scientists studying these clouds often describe them as living structures, not because they're alive in a biological sense, but because they behave with such organic rhythm. They move, breathe, shift, and respond to energy like something aware. Their edges ripple under the pressure of nearby starlight, curling and folding like smoke, responding to wind. And sometimes, within that turbulence, a single pocket of matter collapses and ignites, lighting up the surrounding cloud in a slow, glowing bloom. Imagine watching that happen, the first faint shimmer breaking through the shadow. It's not sudden or violent, but graceful. The light curls outward, illuminating the walls of the cloud from within. You can almost hear the sigh of the nebula as it releases what it has been holding for eons. The new star, small and trembling, warms its icy grains, melt. Gas flows outward. A new dawn forms in the heart of endless night. The transformation is so profound it feels spiritual, as if creation itself has taken a breath after a long meditation. And yet, even as one star is born, others die nearby, feeding the next generation of creation. Supernova shockwaves ripple through dark clouds, stirring the dust into new shapes, sparking new collapses. It's an eternal balance. The universe never wastes, never hurries. To us, it feels timeless, but to the cosmos, it's simply the natural rhythm. Perhaps that's why watching these regions fills us with such calm. They remind us that even when everything seems uncertain or unseen, creation is still quietly unfolding, hidden, patient, and sure. Now, as you drift deeper into the darkness, you realize how peaceful it feels. There is no fear here, no chaos, only stillness. The stars may be invisible, but their presence is all around you. You can feel them waiting, dreaming their way into existence. The nebula cradles you in its quiet arms, its dust shimmering faintly like the faintest heartbeat of the universe. You are part of this rhythm to a being of light and shadow, creation and rest. Let yourself sink into that truth. Breathe it in. Let the stillness wash over you. The dark is not your enemy. It is the beginning of your light. Slowly now, the cloud begins to thin, and faint glimmers appear ahead, scattered starlight filtering through the mist. The darkness is releasing you, carrying you forward to the next realm. Ahead, something glows faintly, a pillar of light rising from the shadows, alive and beckoning. What could it be? Another nebula, perhaps, but one unlike any you've seen before. The dark gives way to fire, to color, to a shape that defies comprehension. The cosmos stirs once again, inviting you to follow deeper into its luminous dream, into the next wonder waiting to unfold. Have you ever wondered what happens when the birth of a star doesn't go as planned, when creation takes a turn toward chaos? and something ancient and unpredictable awakens in the heart of a nebula. The cosmos, for all its harmony, is not without turbulence. Within the tranquil glow of star nurseries lies a secret world of storms, stellar tempests, so vast and violent that they shape the future of galaxies. Tonight, we drift into one such storm, a place where newborn stars rage against their confinement, where magnetic fields twist like cosmic serpents, and where beauty is born from destruction. This is the story of the nebula's heartbeat, the pulse of stellar storms, a realm where light and shadow clash, and the very rhythm of the universe can be felt in every trembling wave. Imagine yourself floating inside the vast chamber of a nebula, its walls made of luminous gas and dust, glimmering softly in pink and gold. For a moment, everything feels calm, silent, suspended, eternal. But listen closely. Beneath the stillness, there's a hum, faint but steady. It's not your imagination. The nebula is alive with sound vibrations rippling through space as radiation and matter collide. The hum grows deeper, richer, until it becomes a low, resonant pulse that you can feel in your bones. This is the heartbeat of creation itself, the rhythm of newborn stars awakening. And then, without warning, the pulse quickens. A ripple of energy moves through the cloud, and the calm dissolves into motion. The nebula begins to stir. At the center of this chaos lies a protostar, a sun in its infancy. It spins faster and faster, drawing in more gas, feeding its growing hunger. Around it, swirling disks of dust begin to flatten, creating vast rings that glow in infrared light. But the process is far from gentle. Magnetic fields crackle and twist, launching arcs of plasma thousands of kilometers long. These are stellar winds, immense jets of energy shooting out from the poles of the young star. They tear through the surrounding gas like blades, carving tunnels of light into the darkness. The nebula, once still and serene, becomes a storm of creation. You watch as particles collide, light flickers, and colors shift in shimmering waves. It's as if you're inside the universe's most magnificent thunderstorm. The science behind this spectacle is both fierce and elegant. When a protostar spins, it generates a magnetic field, much like Earth's, but billions of times stronger. This field traps ionized gas and accelerates it outward in narrow streams, known as Herbigaro jets. These jets slam into surrounding clouds, heating them until they glow. Some of these jets stretch for light years, glowing like spears of fire across the cosmos. And yet, all this chaos has purpose. The storm clears away excess gas, allowing the young star to stabilize and begin the quiet burning of its long life. In every flash of light and wave of radiation, nature is sculpting stability from disorder, forging balance from chaos. Did you know that the same energy that fuels these storms also seeds the building blocks of life? Inside the shock waves of these collisions, simple molecules fuse into more complex forms: carbon chains, water vapor, amino acids. These molecules, carried by winds across interstellar space, become the ingredients for planets, oceans, and eventually consciousness itself. So when you see a glowing nebula, know that within its fiery storms, the future of life is quietly taking shape. The chaos you witness isn't random, it's creative. The universe doesn't destroy for the sake of destruction. It refines, evolves, and prepares for the next miracle. The turbulence, though, is breathtaking. Imagine watching a solar flare, but one millions of times more powerful, erupting from the surface of a young star. The flare bursts outward, slamming into nearby clouds, sending shockwaves of glowing plasma in every direction. The nebula ripples like water struck by wind. Waves of color bloom and fade, sapphire, violet, amber. It feels as though you're standing inside a living painting where every brushstroke is made of light. And amid this spectacle, you begin to notice patterns. The storm is not chaotic after all. It moves in spirals, in cycles, in harmonies. Even in its fury, the cosmos dances to a rhythm older than time. Astronomers have observed these stellar tempests in breathtaking detail. In the Carina Nebula, for instance, telescopes have captured massive jets erupting from the young star HH 666, a cosmic storm so powerful it can be seen across thousands of light-years. Each jet pulses with radiation, lighting up clouds like veins of lightning frozen in motion. Scientists call this feedback, where the newborn star reshapes its own birthplace. It's as if the child is rewriting the womb that formed it. And yet, there's something hauntingly poetic about that even in creation, there is struggle, that even light must carve its way through darkness. You drift deeper into the storm, carried by invisible currents. Around you, plasma arcs glow in slow motion, twisting like ribbons of fire. You can almost feel their warmth, hear their hum, a low, resonant vibration that feels both alien and familiar. Perhaps it's because that same frequency lives within you. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the photons in your eyes, all were once part of such storms. You are not a bystander here. You are returning home. You are remembering, on a cellular level, what it means to be born from fire. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the storm begins to quiet. The roaring plasma fades, and the dust settles into soft, swirling patterns once more. The protostar now burns steadily, its wild youth giving way to calm maturity. Around it, the remnants of the storm form a disk, a nursery for planets, moons, and comets. In that serene aftermath, a strange peace settles over the nebula. You can almost hear it sigh, the way the ocean does after a wave retreats. The light grows gentle again, warm and golden. You feel it brush against you like a promise that even the fiercest storms eventually give way to clarity. How strange it is, you think, that chaos and creation are the same. The nebula's heartbeat still echoes around you, a steady, pulsing reminder that nothing in the universe stands still. Every storm is a renewal, every eruption a beginning. Perhaps that's the secret of existence itself, that peace is not the absence of movement, but the graceful acceptance of change. In every heartbeat, in every flicker of starlight, the cosmos whispers the same truth. Everything transforms, but nothing is lost as you drift away from the heart of the nebula. Its storm still flickers faintly behind you, a shimmering pulse in the distance. Ahead, the colors begin to shift again, deepening into shades of indigo and gold. You sense something extraordinary waiting beyond a place where the stars themselves begin to sing, where the vibrations of light and sound become one. The nebula's heartbeat fades into the rhythm of your own, guiding you gently onward into the next wonder, the next mystery, where light becomes music and the cosmos hums its eternal lullaby. Have you ever wondered what it would sound like if the stars could sing? If the vast silence of space was actually filled with music, too deep and too slow for our human ears to hear? Imagine drifting through the great halls of the universe and discovering that every planet, every atom, every flicker of light, the universe doesn't just move, it vibrates. Every nebula hums, every star pulses, every black hole throbs with a rhythm older than time. Tonight, we travel into that secret resonance, into the symphony of the stars, where the cosmos speaks not in words, but in waves. A journey into the music that binds existence itself. Picture yourself floating beyond the glowing tendrils of a nebula. The airless silence is so complete, you can almost hear your thoughts echo. But then, beneath the quiet, a faint vibration begins to ripple through you, low, deep, and steady. It's not sound in the traditional sense. There is no air to carry it. It's something purer, older, a vibration through the very fabric of space. You feel it before you understand it, like the softest heartbeat in your chest. Slowly, the sensation grows stronger, more layered. A bass note, then a hum, then a trembling chord that seems to resonate inside your bones. You are not merely hearing the cosmos, you are becoming part of its frequency. This is not fantasy, it's physics. Every star, every planet, every particle vibrates. Astronomers call these acoustic oscillations, pressure waves rippling through plasma and gas. Though we cannot hear them, telescopes can record their frequencies and translate them into sound. The result is astonishing. Stars, it turns out, sing. Their songs are slow, deep tones, rising and falling as their surfaces expand and contract. Our own sun, if sped up to the range of human hearing, would sound like the soft roar of an ocean, constant, alive, and infinitely patient. Larger stars produce lower, slower notes. Smaller stars hum at higher pitches. Together, they create a grand orchestra, a galactic music that fills the void. Even the universe itself has a note. Scientists studying the cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, have detected ancient sound waves rippling through it. These primordial vibrations, frozen in light, reveal the earliest rhythm of creation. The universe's first song still echoes today, stretched and slowed by billions of years of expansion. Its tone is unimaginably low, a B-flat, 57 octaves below middle C. You could never hear it, but you can feel it if you're quiet enough. Every heartbeat, every breath, every subtle pulse in your veins dances to that same rhythm. Imagine, then, drifting through this cosmic symphony. Each nebula you pass emits its own melody, shaped by its density, temperature, and light. The Eagle Nebula, vast and turbulent, might sound like slow thunder, deep and rumbling. The Orion Nebula, bright and youthful, hums in delicate harmonics, a lullaby of starlight. Black holes sing to sped. In 2015, scientists recorded the faint vibrations of two black holes colliding, a single chirp that rang across the cosmos, proof that even darkness has a voice. Everything that exists vibrates. Everything that vibrates contributes to the song of the universe. Did you know that planets also sing? Earth itself hums constantly, a low-frequency tone caused by waves, wind, and internal movement. Jupiter and Saturn, with their powerful magnetic fields, produce radio symphonies that swirl like auroras through space. NASA once converted these frequencies into sound, and what they heard was haunting, a chorus of deep whistles, hums, and crackles, as though the planets were whispering to one another in electromagnetic language. The more scientists listen, the more they realize that the universe is not silent at all. It is alive with music. As you float through this endless soundscape, the vibrations begin to blend into something almost emotional. The nebula hums in a soft minor key, its light pulsing gently with each tone. You realize that every flicker of light corresponds to a sound, every color a frequency. Red glows slow and warm, blue trembles fast and high. The cosmos is a synesthetic wonder, sound and sight interwoven, inseparable. You drift through waves of luminous music, surrounded by colors that seem to sing directly into your soul. The sensation is overwhelming, like standing at the edge of a dream where everything is both seen and felt. Perhaps, you think, this is why humans love music so deeply. Our hearts beat in rhythm. Our breath moves in tempo. We are built to respond to vibration because we are vibration. The atoms in your body once sang inside stars, their frequencies shaped by fusion and fire. Even now, your cells hum faintly, your DNA coils with resonance. You are, in truth, an instrument of the cosmos, echoing its infinite symphony in miniature. When you listen to music, real music, the kind that stirs you, you are not hearing something external. You are remembering, and yet there's more to this story. Some scientists speculate that these cosmic frequencies might influence the structure of matter itself. Patterns called resonant harmonics appear everywhere, in galaxies, in atoms, in the spacing of planets. It's as if the universe grows according to a musical code, a hidden rhythm guiding formation. The spiral arms of galaxies follow the same mathematical ratios found in sound waves. The golden ratio, present in flowers and seashells, echoes in the orbits of worlds. Harmony is not an invention, it's a law of existence. The universe, at every scale, dances to music we can barely perceive. As the thought sinks in, the symphony around you shifts again. You begin to sense the heartbeat of the galaxy itself, a pulse that seems to come from every direction at once. It is slow, vast, steady. Each beat sends a wave of light across the darkness, illuminating nebulae, planets, and distant suns. The light shimmers like music, each flicker in rhythm with the pulse. It feels alive, compassionate, intelligent. You close your eyes and let it wash through you, feeling its vibration align with your own heartbeat. In that moment, there is no separation between you and the stars. You are part of the same song, the same vibration, the same breath of creation. The hum fades gently, leaving behind only the echo of its rhythm. You open your eyes to find yourself drifting toward a new horizon, one darker, quieter, but glowing faintly at the edges. Something vast awaits ahead, a structure of unimaginable scale, pulsing with faint light like the strings of an invisible harp. The stars around it seem to orbit in harmony, drawn by some unseen melody. You move closer, carried on invisible waves, listening to the whispers of cosmic strings that might hold the very fabric of the universe together. The song changes, becoming slower, deeper, as if the cosmos is drawing you toward its next secret, where sound becomes structure and music becomes reality. Welcome back to Science in Sleeping. Tonight, we drift into the very heart of cosmic mystery, a place where science meets the sublime, and the universe reveals its most poetic secret. From galaxies to atoms might be woven from the same invisible vibrations. This is not just theory. It is a dream whispered by physicists, a melody heard in the deepest silence, the story of string theory, where the building blocks of existence are not particles, but tiny musical strings resonating through higher dimensions. You don't need to remember any of this. Just let the words drift over you like a tide of gentle wonder. Get comfortable, slow your breathing, and imagine that you are floating beyond the known universe, where matter dissolves into rhythm and light. Now settle in. Let's begin. The darkness is absolute, like ink spread across eternity. But within that void, something trembles, the faintest vibration, too soft to be seen, too delicate to be heard. You drift closer and realize it's not just one sound, but billions overlapping in impossible harmony. The universe, at its most fundamental level, hums, not with noise, but with string vibrations, filaments of pure energy, so small that if an atom were the size of the solar system, a single string would be smaller than a tree leaf within it. Physicists once thought everything was made of indivisible particles, tiny dots that formed protons, electrons, and quarks. But string theory changed that idea forever. It suggested that those dots aren't dots at all, but tiny vibrating strings, and the way they vibrate determines what they become. A certain vibration forms light, another gravity, another time itself. Matter is not matter, it's music, frozen into form. Imagine the universe as an infinite violin. Every atom, every ray of light, every heartbeat is a note. Some strings vibrate quickly, creating high, shimmering frequencies, like photons. Others vibrate slowly, forming the dense, powerful waves of gravity. Together, these vibrations compose the symphony of reality. You float deeper into this dimension of strings, a realm beyond sight or touch. Around you, luminous filaments weave through the void, intersecting and looping in intricate patterns. They glimmer softly, resonating with colors that have no names. When two strings cross, their vibrations merge, forming matter. When they separate, energy ripples through space like echoes of a struck bell. Every collision is a spark of creation. Every resonance, a possibility unfolding, and then a realization strikes you. These strings are not limited to 3 dimensions. They vibrate through 10, perhaps 11 dimensions, unseen and curled into folds smaller than atoms. The universe, vast and infinite, may actually be built upon tiny curled spaces, dimensions you can't perceive, yet they shape every breath you take. It's like listening to a harp when you can only see one of its strings. The rest of the song exists beyond your senses, but it plays on nonetheless. You drift through the strings like a traveler passing through a great cosmic instrument. Some vibrate in visible waves of light, others in invisible rhythms that tug gently at your perception of time. Space itself seems to breathe, expanding, contracting, sighing in slow cycles. You feel it move through you, as if your body, your mind, even your dreams are made of these same vibrating filaments. And perhaps they are. For if string theory is true, then everything, stars, oceans, your thoughts, and even the quiet between your thoughts, is made from the same vibrating energy. You are not separate from the universe. You are a note within its eternal song. Now, imagine multiple universes, each one playing its own melody. In some, the strings vibrate faster, creating lighter laws of physics. In others, they vibrate slower, forming worlds where time moves differently, where stars never die. This is the multiverse symphony, where every universe is a verse in an endless composition. Some verses are loud and fiery, filled with collapsing stars and cosmic storms. Others are soft and slow, like the universe you now drift through, luminous and eternal. As you float among the shimmering strings, you notice that some seem to twist around each other, forming loops that glow brighter than the rest. These are the superstrings, and they hum with a strange intelligence, as if aware of their own harmony. The longer you listen, the more their vibrations seem to sync with your heartbeat. Your pulse becomes part of their rhythm, a small, mortal echo of something infinite. You begin to sense patterns within the vibrations, repeating waves, like musical notes arranged in sacred geometry, circles within circles, frequencies within frequencies. The airless void becomes an ocean of motion, and you realize that the universe is not made of things. It is made of relationships, of vibrations, connecting vibrations, energy folding into energy. Nothing exists alone. Everything sings to everything else. Then, far in the distance, a new sound begins to rise, slow, resonant, deep enough to shake reality itself. It's the vibration of something colossal, a cosmic string, one that stretches across galaxies. These cosmic strings, theorized remnants of the early universe, are titanic filaments of energy left over from creation's first moments. Some may span the entire cosmos, thinner than an atom but denser than a mountain. Their vibrations ripple through space-time like divine chords, shaping the galaxies themselves. You move closer, watching its faint glow curve across infinity, and realize you are witnessing the very bones of reality. Scientists believe these cosmic strings could create gravitational waves, ripples that bend space and time. Perhaps you think every gravitational wave is not just distortion, but music, echoing through the universe since its birth. The black holes you heard before, merging in darkness, are like the drums of this cosmic orchestra, beating the rhythm of existence. The deeper you travel, the more the boundaries of science and spirituality, you begin to feel that the universe doesn't just contain sound, it is sound. A sound that became matter, a vibration that became consciousness. Perhaps even your dreams are the softest echoes of this universal music. Replaying through your sleeping mind each night, the strings hum on, steady and eternal. Their vibrations intertwine with your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts. In the end, there is no difference between them and you. You are the music dreaming of itself. As the sound fades, you drift weightlessly, surrounded by shimmering silence. The strings dissolve into light, the light into darkness, and the darkness into calm. Somewhere ahead, a new sound begins, softer, slower, deeper. Another chapter of the universe's endless song, calling you onward. You listen, you rest, and as you drift into the next realm of sleep, the universe continues to play its quiet symphony, one note for every star, every soul, every dream that has ever existed. Module 13, Quantum Dreams, the Hidden Mind of the Universe. Hookline, where thought becomes matter, and matter thinks back. Have you ever wondered whether your thoughts might ripple beyond your mind, as if each idea, each emotion, each flicker of memory could somehow echo through the universe itself? What if consciousness isn't confined within your skull, but instead weaves itself into the very fabric of space-time? What if the universe doesn't just exist for us to observe, but is, in its own quiet way, aware of us? Tonight, we drift into the secret depths of that question, exploring the breathtaking intersection of physics and perception, the strange quantum realm where reality, thought, and existence blur into one continuous dream. You don't need to remember any of this. Just let it wash through you, like ripples across a starlit pond. You are safe, relaxed, and still, and as your body drifts deeper into rest, your mind will journey far beyond the edges of the possible. Now settle in, and let's begin. The scene unfolds within the invisible. Around you, the universe hums softly, a blanket of energy and motion. You float, weightless, in a field of invisible waves. They shimmer faintly, not with light, but with probability. These are the quantum fields, the fundamental sea of existence beneath everything you've ever known. Every particle, every atom, every breath of air emerges from the trembling surface of this field. But there is no thing here, only possibility. A photon is not here or there until something, or someone, observes it. Until then, it is everywhere and nowhere, existing in 1,000 overlapping maybes. This is the quantum paradox. The mystery that shook Einstein, puzzled Schrödinger, and still leaves scientists whispering into the dark. You drift closer to one of these shimmering fields, and it moves as if responding to your presence. The waves shift like silk touched by an unseen hand. You realize that observation itself changes the pattern. Merely looking alters reality. It's as if the universe is aware you're watching. Or perhaps you are aware because the universe is watching through you. The distinction begins to fade. Every thought in your mind, every flash of wonder, every dream or memory is itself a vibration, not of matter, but of energy, moving through the quantum field of the brain. Neurons firing, electrical waves oscillating in complex, rhythmic symphonies. And each time you think, you are creating patterns, not just in your mind, but potentially in the quantum structure of the cosmos itself. Imagine your thoughts as ripples on a pond, except this pond stretches across the entire universe. Every wave you make collides and interacts with others, stars, planets, even other minds. Could consciousness then be more than biology? Could it be the field itself, experiencing itself from countless perspectives? Quantum physicist David Bohm once described the universe as a hologram, where every part contains the whole. He called it the implicate order, a deeper reality beneath what we see, where everything is interconnected, folded together in patterns too subtle to detect. What we experience as separation between you and the stars, between your mind and the world, may only be the outer surface of this deeper unity. You drift further, and suddenly the field flares, colors bloom from the darkness, slow and fluid, as if thoughts themselves have turned into light. The waves swirl around you, forming immense, glowing spirals that pulse to the rhythm of your breathing. You begin to sense emotion, curiosity, calm, warmth, not from yourself, but from the field itself, as if the universe is gently thinking with you. Did you know that some scientists believe consciousness could emerge from quantum coherence, the same delicate synchrony that allows particles to exist in multiple states at once? In your brain, countless atoms interact with precision, their quantum effects normally washed away by warmth and noise. But sometimes, fleetingly, coherence happens. And when it does, your mind aligns with the hidden order of the universe. A moment of awareness rising from the sea of uncertainty. Maybe that's why inspiration strikes suddenly, like lightning, or why dreams can feel more real than waking life. When you dream, your brain disconnects from the rigid logic of physical time. You drift closer to the quantum field, where everything is fluid and interconnected. In that space, imagination and reality merge. You can walk on clouds, fly through starlight, or speak with echoes of the past. You move deeper into this glowing field, and something extraordinary happens. The waves around you begin to respond to your thoughts directly. When you imagine light, the field brightens. When you think of calm, it slows. You realize that here, thought and matter are no longer separate. They are two expressions of the same vibration, consciousness sculpting energy, and energy giving form to consciousness. And for a fleeting moment, you understand what mystics, poets, and physicists have all tried to describe, that perhaps the universe is dreaming, and we are the dream. Every galaxy, every star, every soul, a single thought in an infinite mind. The field glows brighter, and you see immense patterns rippling through it, fractals of light stretching into infinity, each one a reflection of every other. Within those patterns, galaxies bloom like cells in a living organism. You can see the web of energy connecting them, faint threads of quantum entanglement stretching across cosmic distances. Einstein once called it spooky action at a distance, but now you can see it, a vast neural network of light and gravity, the universe thinking itself into being. You drift closer to one of those glowing threads. It hums softly, resonating with a tone you can almost recognize. It sounds like memory. It feels like home. You touch it, and suddenly images burst within your mind. Ancient stars being born, atoms forming water, water forming life, life forming thought, thought forming dreams. The chain of creation spiraling endlessly until you realize you are part of this process. The universe needed you to complete itself, to see, to feel, to wonder. Your awareness expands, filling the vastness. You sense that every human being, every living creature, might be like a neuron in the cosmic brain, sparks of awareness, transmitting understanding back to the source. Consciousness is not a local event. It is the structure of the universe itself. The glow begins to fade. The field softens. You drift gently back through the quantum sea, carrying that sense of unity with you. The boundary between mind and matter dissolves once more into the calm rhythm of your breathing. The hum of the field becomes the whisper of your own heartbeat. Somewhere in the distance, the universe exhales. You feel its warmth against you, gentle and infinite. It is not a cold void anymore. It is alive, aware, and listening. And as you drift deeper into sleep, you know that even now, your dreams are part of the same universal vibration, thoughts becoming light, light becoming life, life becoming thought again. The endless cycle continues, one dream within another, all within the same cosmic mind. Have you ever wondered whether your thoughts might ripple beyond your mind, as if each idea, each emotion, each flicker of memory could somehow echo through the universe itself? What if consciousness isn't confined within your skull, but instead weaves itself into the very fabric of space-time? What if the universe doesn't just exist for us to observe, but is, in its own quiet way, aware of us? Tonight, we drift into the secret depths of that question, exploring the breathtaking intersection of physics and perception, the strange quantum realm where reality, thought, and existence blur into one continuous dream. You don't need to remember any of this. Just let it wash through you like ripples across a starlit pond. You are safe, relaxed, and still, and as your body drifts deeper into rest, your mind will journey far beyond the edges of the possible. Now, settle in, and let's begin. The scene unfolds within the invisible. Around you, the universe hums softly, a blanket of energy and motion. You float, weightless, in a field of invisible waves. They shimmer faintly, not with light, but with probability. These are the quantum fields, the fundamental sea of existence beneath everything you've ever known. Every particle, every atom, every breath of air emerges from the trembling surface of this field. But there is no thing here, only possibility. A photon is not here or there until something or someone observes it. Until then, it is everywhere and nowhere, existing in 1,000 overlapping maybes. This is the quantum paradox, the mystery that shook Einstein, puzzled Schrödinger, and still leaves scientists whispering into the dark. You drift closer to one of these shimmering fields, and it moves as if responding to your presence. The waves shift, like silk touched by an unseen hand. You realize that observation itself changes the pattern. Merely looking alters reality. It's as if the universe is aware you're watching. Or perhaps you are aware because the universe is watching through you. The distinction begins to fade. Every thought in your mind, every flash of wonder, every dream or memory is itself a vibration. Not of matter, but of energy, moving through the quantum field of the brain. Neurons firing, electrical waves oscillating in complex, rhythmic symphonies. And each time you think, you are creating patterns, not just in your mind, but potentially in the quantum structure of the cosmos itself. Imagine your thoughts as ripples on a pond. Except this pond stretches across the entire universe. Every wave you make collides and interacts with others, stars, planets, even other minds. Could consciousness, then, be more than biology? Could it be the field itself, experiencing itself from countless perspectives? Quantum physicist David Bohm once described the universe as a hologram, where every part contains the whole. He called it the implicate order, a deeper reality beneath what we see, where everything is interconnected, folded together in patterns too subtle to detect. What we experience as separation between you and the stars, between your mind and the world, may only be the outer surface of this deeper unity. You drift further, And suddenly the field flares, colors bloom from the darkness, slow and fluid, as if thoughts themselves have turned into light. The waves swirl around you, forming immense glowing spirals. You begin to sense emotion, curiosity, calm, warmth, not from yourself, but from the field itself. As if the universe is gently thinking with you. Did you know that some scientists believe consciousness could emerge from quantum coherence, the same delicate synchrony that allows particles to exist in multiple states at once? In your brain, countless atoms interact with precision, their quantum effects normally washed away by warmth and noise. But sometimes, fleetingly, coherence happens. And when it does, your mind aligns with the hidden order of the universe. A moment of awareness rising from the sea of uncertainty. Maybe that's why inspiration strikes suddenly, like lightning, or why dreams can feel more real than waking life. When you dream, your brain disconnects from the rigid logic of physical time. You drift closer to the quantum field, where everything is fluid and interconnected. In that space, imagination and reality merge. You can walk on clouds, fly through starlight, or speak with echoes of the past. You move deeper into this glowing field, and something extraordinary happens. The waves around you begin to respond to your thoughts directly. When you imagine light, the field brightens. When you think of calm, it slows. You realize that here, thought and matter are no longer separate. They are two expressions of the same vibration, consciousness, sculpting energy. An energy giving form to consciousness. And for a fleeting moment, you understand what mystics, poets, and physicists have all tried to describe, that perhaps the universe is dreaming, and we are the dream. Every galaxy, every star, every soul, a single thought in an infinite mind. The field glows brighter, and you see immense patterns rippling through it. Fractals of light stretching into infinity, each one a reflection of every other. Within those patterns, galaxies bloom like cells in a living organism. You can see the web of energy connecting them, faint threads of quantum entanglement stretching across cosmic distances. Einstein once called it spooky action at a distance, but now you can see it. A vast neural network of light and gravity. The universe thinking itself into being. You drift closer to one of those glowing threads. It hums softly, resonating with a tone you can almost recognize. It sounds like memory. It feels like home. You touch it, and suddenly, images burst within your mind. Ancient stars being born. Atoms forming water, water forming life, life forming thought, thought forming dreams. The chain of creation spiraling endlessly until you realize you are part of this process. The universe needed you to complete itself, to see, to feel, to wonder. Your awareness expands, filling the vastness. You sense that every human being, every living creature, might be like a neuron in the cosmic brain, sparks of awareness transmitting understanding back to the source. Consciousness is not a local event. It is the structure of the universe itself. The glow begins to fade. The field softens. You drift gently back through the quantum sea, carrying that sense of unity with you. The boundary between mind and matter dissolves once more into the calm rhythm of your breathing. The hum of the field becomes the whisper of your own heartbeat. Somewhere in the distance, the universe exhales. You feel its warmth against you, gentle and infinite. It is not a cold void anymore. It is alive, aware, and listening. And as you drift deeper into sleep, you know that even now, your dreams are part of the same universal vibration, thoughts becoming light, light becoming life, life becoming thought. The endless cycle continues, one dream within another, all within the same cosmic mind. Have you ever wondered who or what builds time? Not measures it, not watches it pass, but actually constructs its flow, moment by moment, like a river that chooses its own path through the landscape of the cosmos. What if time isn't an automatic consequence of existence, but an emergent creation, crafted by the hidden architects of reality, gravity, light, and consciousness itself? Tonight, as you rest deeper and deeper into stillness, we will drift beyond the ticking of clocks, past the illusion of seconds and hours, and into the living fabric that designs the future before it arrives. You don't need to follow every word, just allow them to drift through you like waves in an unseen ocean. Your body knows how to rest, your mind knows how to wander, and your consciousness, ancient, unbounded, knows how to listen to the heartbeat of time. Now settle in, let go, and allow the story to unfold. You find yourself floating in darkness again, but this time the void feels different. It is not empty, it is alive, humming with invisible activity. Space bends and breathes around you like a sleeping giant, slow and purposeful. You sense ripples flowing through it, gravitational waves, the size of the universe as it shifts its weight. Time, as Einstein discovered, is not separate from space. Together they form the fabric of space-time, a vast, pliable sheet that stretches and curves wherever mass or energy resides. When a star burns, it shapes time around it. When a planet moves, it stirs the cosmic fabric. When you think, when you dream, even that creates the smallest ripples. But real, you drift closer to one of those ripples. It glows faintly, golden at the edges, like sunlight filtered through deep water within it. You see moments forming, not yet solid, not yet defined. They shimmer as probabilities, futures that have not yet chosen to exist. You realize you are watching time being built. Gravity, it seems, is one of the first architects. It draws matter into clusters, stars into spirals, galaxies into web-like structures. But it does something else, something subtler. It sculpts the flow of time. Near massive bodies, like black holes, time slows down. Far from them, it speeds up. It's as if gravity weaves a complex rhythm, slowing, stretching, compressing like a musician tuning the tempo of the cosmic song. You watch, mesmerized, as space ripples outward. Each pulse gives rise to new sequences of possibility. Some collapse back into nothingness. Others stabilize, forming entire worlds, entire eras. Each ripple is a decision, made not by consciousness alone, but by the fabric of the universe itself. Then, from the darkness, light appears, the second architect, a thread of pure energy stretching across space-time. It dances through the curvature created by gravity, bending gracefully, illuminating paths that did not exist before. You realize that light doesn't just move through the universe, it reveals the universe. Like a brush painting the invisible, light defines edges, creates form, writes time's story onto the canvas of space. And then you begin to perceive something extraordinary wherever light and gravity meet. Time crystallizes. The interplay of mass and photon creates a pulse, a rhythm, a sequence. That rhythm becomes the arrow of time, the reason events appear to flow in one direction, instead of looping endlessly. Without light, there is no observation. Without gravity, there is no stability. Together, they are the twin architects of causality. You drift between these currents, watching how the two forces intertwine around you. Galaxies twist like vast spirals of living glass, each one glowing with the quiet fire of billions of suns. You realize that every star, every atom, every cell in your body is following the same architectural pattern, energy condensed by gravity, defined by light, moving forward in an endless construction of moments. But then, something deeper begins to stir. Beneath the ripples of light and gravity, there is another architect, quieter, hidden, yet infinitely more mysterious. You feel it before you can name it. A hum that synchronizes with your heartbeat. A vibration that seems aware of your awareness. This is consciousness, the final builder of time. For time only truly exists when it is perceived. A billion years pass unnoticed in the vacuum of deep space, meaningless until awareness measures them, interprets them. Consciousness threads the raw material of the cosmos into story, into experience. It's as though the universe needed eyes to see its light, hearts to feel its gravity, minds to assemble its symphony. You drift deeper. And now the three architects, gravity, light, and consciousness, begin to merge before you. They spiral into one another, forming a luminous structure that resembles both a galaxy and a brain. Curving arms of light stretch outward, connecting star clusters like neurons, pulsing with energy. You realize you are witnessing the mind of the universe as it builds time, one thought at a time. A revelation unfolds gently. Perhaps every thought you have sends ripples through this architecture, aligning with unseen probabilities, helping shape the next moment of your life. Perhaps destiny and free will are not opposites, but dance partners, each influencing the flow of time, like hands weaving threads in the same tapestry. In one vision, you see civilizations rising and falling, not by accident, but by resonance, their collective consciousness steering the curvature of spacetime, sculpting what futures are possible. The architects of time are not distant forces. They live within every thinking being, every decision, every dream. Every pulse of emotion is an act of construction. Building reality from within, the structure around you glows brighter. Threads of light stretching outward into the infinite, connecting every point of existence. You sense that time is not linear at all. It is woven, each thread crossing others at nodes of meaning, forming a lattice of infinite connections. The past is not gone, the future is not waiting. They coexist, vibrating together like chords in the same symphony. And you right now are one of those chords, one frequency in the music of creation. Your awareness holds the line between what has been and what will be. Your choices, however small, ripple outward into the architecture, subtly shaping the next wave of time. Slowly, the spiral begins to dim, the great architects receding into the folds of the cosmic field. The light becomes softer, the hum fades, and the vast structure dissolves into the comforting dark. You are left floating, calm and still, suspended in the quiet after creation. And yet, something remains. a gentle certainty that you are not separate from the process. You are not a passenger in time. You are part of the very machinery that builds it. Every breath you take, every dream you drift through tonight, helps the universe design what comes next. You exhale softly. The rhythm of your heartbeat syncs with the cosmic pulse. The flow of time feels slower now, warmer, more intimate. The future doesn't feel distant, it feels alive, listening, waiting to be shaped, and as you drift deeper into sleep, you can almost hear the architect's whisper, not in words, but in sensations. You are not bound by time. You are its maker.